go to sleep. We're stuck in our homes, they're flooding the streets. Everyone's watching and glued to their screens. Misinformation like every week. Apocalypse!
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. So, catch everybody up to speed. Obviously, Iran shot missiles at Israel the other day. And I was very clear that Israel would not just do what the hell they were supposed to do, which is just sit down, shut up, and be happy with the result. Iran demonstrated some technology, demonstrated some abilities that we didn't know existed. And so on and so forth. And basically all Israel had to do is just say, all right, we're good. And I said that was not going to happen. You have an interesting situation where Netanyahu, many think that if he loses power, is removed from power, that he may be prosecuted or eliminated. You also have an instance where the local government may never have a conservative government again because of the actions taken by Bibi and company. And they've been talking about this retaliatory strike. Then they said they were going to put it off until after Passover. Then they came back earlier today and said that they were there was a United Nations summit, open debate on the Middle East, and there was some back and forth from Israel themselves. There was pretty good indication that tonight was going to be the night that it was go time, and for all intents and purposes, I think we're there. So from OSINT Defender, U.S. officials have confirmed that Israeli aircraft have struck a location inside Iran. So it appears that there were 3 explosions reported inside Iran, deep inside Iran. I'll pull up a map here in just a second, and we'll go from there. I forget what the town name is, but it's somewhere deep inside Iran. We can see on the boards that that's pretty consistent. And regional powers are starting to put up aircraft in kind of response to that. So that's coming as well. So let me pull up a map and see where it's at. And it's probably... It wasn't Tehran. It was... Well, let me see. But now we have confirmation from the United States that it has started. Isfahan? Isfahan? Yeah, we'll go Isfahan. We also got reports that passenger aircraft have been diverted because of the strikes. So when we're looking at a map, so here is Iran. This is the location somewhere in this vicinity where we're talking about. So south of Tehran in Iran. I don't know if it'll come up as we zoom. We can try. Nah, it's not going to show many cities for whatever reason. MapQuest, but somewhere in this location is where the strikes have been heard. There were also strikes in Syria. I believe that there were 3 or 4 different locations that were hit pretty much at the same time. And we can see aircraft diverting. We'll go over to ADSB, take a look at passenger aircraft and how they're diverting. And what this means is not good. Not good. So if we look at ADSB, this is the commercial traffic that's up. These are all flights. Generally, we'd see a lot coming out of Tehran, coming down this way. and also some going up this way. And we're not seeing this. Everything's diverting all the way around Iran. So we're getting a pretty good diversion. That's some indication that things are going on. We still have this flow of traffic, which is, if you remember from the strikes that went the other way a few days ago, that was diverted and stopped, that line of traffic right there. So if we see significant diversion or significant change in that traffic, we'll know that something's going on there as well. My advice, don't fly in the Middle East right now because it's going to get rocky. So that's kind of what we're looking at as far as the board from commercial traffic. No other real crazy areas. But then if we go over here and filter out military aircraft, that is not military. I just had it up. I have an Italian Gulfstream 5, but as you can see, everything is clear. And that is a strong indication that there are operations because we should see something up. So this is a public forum, so we will not get active military engagements, but we know they exist right now. If we come over to the United States at this hour on a random Thursday night, those are all military aircraft up over the U.S. mainland. That's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. 235 on a Thursday night at nearly 10 Eastern. That's a pretty good amount over there. So that's also something to kind of take into account. For all indications, the United States probably knew. I would think that something was going to happen with their greatest ally in Israel. You did, like I said, have the United Nations meetings, so you have various planes leaving that. Those are both Polish aircraft that are returning to Poland from the summit meeting. So that's something to take into account as well. We have a bunch of random aircraft up, bunch of tankers up over the United States. I haven't seen anything come out of the central U.S., which is, well, there's a 76200. Central U.S. is where we have our bombers, where the Doomsday plane is, all that kind of stuff. What's up in the sky? Jason, there's a lot of tankers, so that means that there's fighters, potentially some command aircraft. There could be some bombers that are about to go up, and then we're moving a lot of cargoes, so there's a lot of C-130s up as well. I don't see anything going over the ocean just yet. There's another 762. But we see it's a lot of C-130s, C-17s, that kind of aircraft. C-17s. It's another tanker over there. 762. There's an E6 up. What are these guys? So we have a pair of tankers that are leaving. Looks like Oklahoma there and going south for whatever reason. For those of you guys paying attention to the news, this comes at an interesting time. Christopher Wray earlier this evening, or earlier this afternoon, about 5 o'clock Eastern time, released I forget what the operation was named, but I'll look it up real quick. Released a statement that the Chinese government has access to all of our critical infrastructure, and it's basically a ticking time bomb. We're just waiting for them to act. So FBI Christopher Wray announced the Chinese government linked hackers have infiltrated U.S. critical infrastructure. China is developing the capability to cause significant damage to our critical infrastructure at a time of their choosing, waiting for an opportunity to deal a devastating blow. An ongoing Chinese hacking campaign known as Volt Typhoon has successfully accessed numerous American companies in telecommunications, energy, water, and other critical sectors, with 23 pipeline operators currently being targeted. So that's interesting timing on that note. Didn't intentionally know what it meant at the time, but I think we can say with some certainty as to why that was released. He may at some point here. So let's go back over and see what kind of updates we have here. Here is an update from Senator Marco Rubio. Israel has the ability to conduct airstrikes inside or against targets inside Iran without entering Iranian airspace from aircraft over Syria and Iraqi airspace. So, tell the juice not to bomb Max while he's still in the shower. Don't worry, less than 10 minutes. Max not hentai taking long showers. All right, buddy. Have fun in your shower. There's now an unconfirmed report of the closure of Iranian airspace, which I think would be probably a pretty good move. It doesn't appear to be a total closure, but some essentially TFRs going up at this time. Okay, so we have some NOTAMs now. So let's check those out. Then outside the boundary, part of origin. So this seems to be either following temp traffic as orientation scheme TOS within. So they seem to be very spotty. So it's not a total closure of the airspace, but as reported, seems to be very spotty in the closures. So some diversions and some, as we saw kind of on the flight board, seeing a move way to the east there. So that's never a good thing. But it's good to get commercial traffic and innocent civilian traffic out of the way so that there's no chance. Israel kind of did everybody dirty by certainly doing this attack without notifying seemingly the international community or any of the others of their intentions. Like we said, with the Iranian missile attacks, we saw a complete closure of the entire corridor. This seemed to be dropped on Iran in the middle of normal operations. There was no diversions or no drops anywhere at all prior to the attack. So this is reportedly, and again, this is just coming in, so take the information with a grain of salt. Additional footage showing anti-aircraft fire earlier over the city of Isfahan in central Iran. What's up, tits? I didn't see a ton on the footage, but allegedly, so that's I wanted to get to this too. Why we got a quick second. Stingy member for 10 months. Thank you, buddy. Just using this. No funny. You should be funny. This is a time of total hell. We need funny. So there are some. I'm not comfortable enough with this to say certainly that it happened, but I've seen it reported against multiple different places. But there's rumors out that it hits some critical nuclear facilities that has caused some radiation to leak. Again, this is very early reporting. I'm not terribly comfortable, but it's coming up more and more, and that was said to be one of the potential targets. So, we're seeing intense activity, quote, reported over northern Iraq, Erbil, Mosul, for right now. So now we're getting the senior U.S. official claims Israel missiles hit a site in Iran. Iran is very hush-hush on the whole thing, still have not confirmed any attack. So, but we know that's not true. Unconfirmed reports, blah, blah, blah. So we're seeing that. We'll watch this just because I think it's becoming more and more relevant. This is where Director Ray was speaking about the Chinese. So
our most immediate concern has been that individuals or small groups will draw some kind of twisted inspiration from the events in the Middle East to carry out attacks here at home. But now, increasingly concerning is the potential for a coordinated attack here in the homeland, akin to the ISIS-K attack we saw at the Russia concert hall just a couple weeks ago. Our most immediate concern has been that individuals or small groups will draw some kind of twisted inspiration from the events in the Middle East to carry out attacks here at home. But now, increasingly concerning is the potential for a coordinated attack here in the homeland, akin to the ISIS-K attack we saw at the Russia concert hall just a couple weeks ago.
So sorry, that was the other one. That was the suspected terrorism. They've been blowing the whistle on that, saying that that's about to happen as well. So we'll see what happens with that. So there's been reported explosions in Iran, Iraq, and Syria at this point. What this does is it further escalates tensions in the region, obviously. Again, I think that Israel's best suited just to be done with it. But this is going to escalate this war. And sources, so here's a report out just a moment ago. Sources linked to the IRGC have now confirmed that Israeli missiles have struck near the city of, not even going to try to pronounce it, Klahajavistan, within the Isfahan province of central Iran. So we're starting to get updates like that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not seeing a ton more after that. According to Sky News Arabia, 3 large explosions. Some initial reports of explosions and overflights of fighter jets being heard in Aswadia in southern Syria, as well as in several locations throughout Iraq, including the Baghdad area. So it looks like southern Syria, Baghdad area, and then we had strikes in Iran. Where do I think this goes from here? I think that we see a quick response from Iran. They were very clear on the consequences for continued strikes and another hit. I think we see it quickly. I think it's gonna happen very quickly. And I think again we're gonna see further escalation of this conflict. If Israel hits something nuclear, then that obviously ramps that up and makes that even worse. That's a significant concern. I can't confirm because I don't know much about Iranian nuclear facilities. If that is the case, and if there is one there, Saudis hate the Iranians, but Saudis are going to get fucking steamrolled if they get anywhere near it. So, what's up, Murphs? No worries. Yeah, this is not the stream I wanted to do either, buddy. We're getting confirmation from both Iran, the United States, and Israel at this point. So there's a pretty good indication that this is going down, and this just happened. So I'm checking to see if we're getting any updates. Iran has activated air defense systems. IRGC confirms strikes, and we saw that on their official Twitter. It's in Arabic, so. But allegedly the translation shows, oh, here's a better map. There we go. So this is what we're looking at. This is the location of the strikes. So it appears that we had some in Syria, and then we had some in Baghdad, and then some in Iran. So it very well could have been left from Israel, went through Syria, Iraq, and then shot missiles at Iran, is what it's kind of looking like at this point. That would be my indication or thought process. If there were only a couple, it'd be easy enough to keep that ordnance on that aircraft. So, or series of aircraft. Trying to look for anything else. It might be a short. I thought it was important enough to let you guys know about, but I don't know. I don't know that we're going to get a ton of additional information, being that it's this early. This is pretty early in the whole conflict. I'll for damn sure be watching it, and I'll come back if we get anything more. But so like I said, you had some international posturing. You had some stuff coming out from all over the world today. And here's one of those. Senior officials with the UAE and Saudi Arabia have reportedly told the United States that they require the same security guarantees that the U.S. has with Israel if they're expected to increase their participation in regards to Iran. So they were asking for protections from the United States. So that gives you even more indication that this was going to happen. Based on the NOTAMs coming out, it looks like there's diversions and slight areas that are off limits to aircraft, but it's not. There's been no indication that the entire country is going to be off limits as far as airspace is concerned. That certainly could change. I mean, this whole corridor between, like, this entire corridor could realistically be shut down for air traffic, but as of now, we just have some spotty no-fly zones and several diversions. So air activity over Baghdad still. Yeah, I'm seeing more and more of that. I mean, that'd be curious to have confirmed. That the nuclear facilities were the target. So I'm doing just a little bit of research, and it says that one of Iran's major nuclear facilities for different purposes like enrichment are in Isfahan. That's how I'm going to call it. Isfahan. That's what it looks like. So that would line up. Let's see. Even the good old Twitter's a little bit slow on things tonight. But that looks like the early report is 3. 3 in Iran. I think this was a really bad move by Israel. There was no benefit to doing this. So there was no benefit to doing this. This was a very bad idea. So the next steps we're absolutely going to see some kind of response from Iran. They've said that they're going to. I don't think anybody's just gonna back off and run away from it at this point. I think that we're going to continue to see escalation, which is really truly unfortunate. Okay, so again, I hate videos early, but sometimes they illustrate what's going on. So this is allegedly the IRGC affiliated media has now confirmed an airstrike to hit a target Isfahan tonight, and this video footage has emerged, purportedly showing the impact, a major hit by all accounts. Hit. So that's certainly could be. I'm looking now for anything from any kind of Iranian channel to kind of get additional confirmation. Oh, here we go. We'll see what the news says about it. ABC.
ABC News special report.
Good evening. I'm Juju Chang at ABC News headquarters here in New York. We're interrupting your regular programming with some breaking news. Israel has initiated a retaliatory strike against Iran, according to a senior U.S. official. This comes just 5 days after Tehran launched a direct military assault on Israel, firing more than 300 drones and missiles. Most were intercepted by Israel with the help of allies, including the U.S. Since that unprecedented weekend attack, Israel has vowed to retaliate. We turn now to ABC's Matt Gutman, who is in Israel with the latest reporting. Matt, what are you hearing?
Juju, a senior U.S. official telling us that Israeli missiles have hit at least one site inside Iran. No reports yet on casualties or what specifically this site was. As you mentioned, Israel has been telegraphing that it will respond. Officials telling me at the time and place of their choosing, they did not specify what that response would be like. We didn't know when it would come. And of course, this is in response to that massive missile salvo from last Saturday, the largest ballistic missile salvo in history. And of course, Iran has said that if Israel chooses to respond, the Iranian response would be severe and immediate. Juju.
Matt, thank you. From the latest in Israel, let's turn now to Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Raddatz in D.C. with the latest. Martha, what are you hearing?
It is a single senior U.S. official who said that it had started, that Israel had retaliated and hit one site in Iran. There are reports this evening that other places, Iraq and Syria, have been hit. This U.S. senior official said they simply cannot confirm that. There were reports yesterday that Israel would hold off on these strikes until after Passover. But today we started getting indications that it could come much quicker than that. The senior official also said the Israelis have been quite secretive about this, so there's very little information we have at this point about the strike that the U.S. senior official said that Israel had made inside Iran.
Well, Martha Raddatz, thank you for that update. Of course, we will return to our regular reporting. This has been a special report. Stay tuned, of course, for the latest updates. And we return you now to your regular programming.
Thank you, Juju Chang. Sorry, I had to say it. So that's kind of not going to drone on forever. That's kind of what we have so far. Okay, so finish with this from OSINT. Iranian state media is now reporting that tonight's airstrike by the Israeli Air Force may have targeted the 8th Tactical Airbase of the Iranian Air Force, which within Isfahan International Airport, which contains multiple squadrons of F-14 Tomcat fighter aircraft. So they hit our planes that we sold to Iran. Cute. But yeah, I think that's all we're gonna get for right now. Yeah, so now we're starting to get the other ones. I will certainly give an update if anything else crazy breaks. I'm hopeful to not have to. And then after we get some more information and indications, and there will probably be more meetings and all that kind of stuff that will take place tomorrow. So I have a little bit of time tomorrow, so I'll give some kind of update video on what's going on tomorrow. But for now, Israel has retaliated. They have hit inside Iran. Allegedly, they've hit the 8th Tactical Airbase of the Iranian Air Force. They also hit locations in Iraq and Syria. So the back and forth is underway, and we will see very likely some retaliation from Iran going back the other way, and then probably some escalation. So that's going to be it for me tonight. Like I said, if anything crazy happens, I'll come back. If not, I will provide an update tomorrow. So until next time, hope everyone has a good night. Stay safe, and hope to not see me again tonight. Take care, y'all. And I missed Digger's comment. So here's a funny: what do you get when you mix human DNA with sheep DNA? Kicked off the farm. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Have a good night, everybody. Tease, come into Discord if you got a second, brother. Have a good night, y'all. Take care.